Courtney Lynn. So I haven't made a video in forever, besides Kennedy's little first video. But I just wanted to make a real quick video because I posted on my Facebook that Kennedy was getting her MRI to check for her, to see if her spinal cord was tethered, or to see if the cyst that they had found on the ultrasound was attached to her spinal cord, or if it had grown at all or anything. And I just wanted to make a quick video and let everybody know how that went. So we had to be there at 6:30, and her MRI was scheduled for 8:30, and I was so nervous about her, if she couldn't eat after 4 a.m. So I was so nervous about getting her up and getting her there, and everything going smoothly and her not freaking out about not being able to eat. So she usually eats at she'll wake up at like 3 a.m. and then again at like 7 a.m. and eat. So I'm like, that second feeding is going to be like right in the middle. So I set my alarm and I woke her up at 3:45 and fed her right until 4. And then I had her in these little fleece pajamas, and we're just going to scoop her up, put her in her car seat, put a blanket over, and go. So that's what I did. She woke up, but surprisingly, normally she hates her car seat and she like screams, but surprisingly she woke up and she sat quietly and calmly in her car seat. My mom came down and went with me. Jason wasn't quite off work yet. He got off work at 7. So she sat in the back seat with her, but didn't really talk to her at all because we were trying to see if she'd go back to sleep, and she didn't, but she was good. And she just kind of looked around and hung out. We got all checked in, and they did really good about keeping with schedule and everything. So they took us back around, I want to say between 7 and 7:30. And just got her changed, weighed her and everything. She has officially hit 14 pounds. So they measured her, but they did it in centimeters or something, and I never really got the full length she was. But last week at her doctor's appointment, she was 23.5 inches long. So anyway, so they got her all ready and everything, and then my mom was holding her because she's like, I don't want you to hold her and then her to think she's gonna eat and get all cranky. So she was happy with my mom, so I just let my mom hold her. And then she fell asleep in my mom's arms, so that was good. Then the anesthesiologist came back because she had to be completely sedated for the MRI. So he came back and talked to us about everything that was going on. The only thing I wasn't sure of is if she would have to have a breathing tube, and she did, which I wasn't real excited about. But so he talked to us and just let us know how everything was going to go, and they were going to take her back, and then they would give her the gas or whatever to make her sleepy, and then they would give her IV and the breathing tube and all of that, and then do the MRI. So my mom held her up until they came to get us, and we carried her down until we couldn't go any further, and then I took her from my mom, and she woke up for a minute, and sorry, my dog's barking and choking apparently. Anyway, so she woke up for a minute, and I just laid her down in a little rolling crib thing, and I was like, I love you, bye. And she just looked up at me, and then she looked up at the nurse guy and smiled at him, and then he's like, okay, here we go, and they rolled off happily. I'm like, all right, that went great. So then we went in the waiting room, and they had the screen that has, you got a code for, to know where she was at, and the little pamphlet that said what color your line was meant where she was. So it was green, meaning the procedure had started, and then it turned pink when she was in recovery. So then they came and got us, and it was probably 45 minutes for the MRI. I wasn't sitting there watching the clock, so I don't know exactly how long it was. But they came and got us and had us go to the a separate recovery room. There was the room where she woke up, and then there was the next recovery room. So they had us go to that other recovery room so that we were there when she got there. And she woke up at Yeah, it was 45 minutes because they took her into the recovery room to start waking her up at 9:15. And it was like, they had said it would probably take about a half hour for her to wake up. And then when we got to that room, they were like, well, it's been about a half hour. It'll probably take her about 45 minutes to an hour to wake up. So Jason was getting a little nervous because he met us there after he got off work. He got off work at 7, so he was there before the procedure started and everything. So he was getting a little nervous, and I was just trying not to focus on it. But they finally brought her in, and they had her all swaddled up, and she was sleeping. And so they handed her to me, and she woke up after a couple minutes, and you know, she was a little groggy. She nursed, but she wasn't like, you know, frantically nursing or anything because she was still pretty groggy. But she kept her food down and everything. They just had to make sure that she didn't throw up and that she could nurse and be fine. So she was good. And then they took her she had a little IV in her foot. So they took her little IV out, and then we immediately had an appointment with the neurosurgeon they have like the doctor's office in the hospital. It's a children's hospital. So we then immediately went to our appointment with the neurosurgeon, and she let us know that everything is completely perfect. She showed us the ultrasound that was originally done where they found the cyst, and basically said, you know, this is what it looks like. They thought it was a cyst, but that's why we get the MRI to see if it is or not. And there's no cyst. The spinal cord isn't tethered. They showed, you know, where it would be if it was tethered, and, you know, she was great. She went through like absolutely everything and showed us from different angles. So her spinal cord is not tethered, and she does not have a cyst. And the other worry, the initial worry, was spina bifida because of the dimple in her butt crack. So no spina bifida, the hole is closed up, but she said sometimes there'll be like where the dimple is, you can see in the MRI like a little channel going down to like where the spinal canal is. And there was nothing like that. It was all just, it was closed off, and it was, you know, there was fatty tissue between where the hole was and her spinal canal. So everything is perfect. She's good. I kind of thought everything was fine because she's rolling over both directions. These are the little things we haven't talked about yet. But she's rolling over both directions. She's sitting up on her own. She's doing so good. She's doing everything ahead of schedule of what they're, you know, supposed to do. So that is pretty much that for now. I cut my hair off. It's actually about ready for another cut again, but this is how my hair used to always be, and I grew it out while I was pregnant, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I usually cut my own hair. So one morning she slept in, and I had gotten up and went in the bathroom and just hacked it all off. So anyways, here's a little sneak peek of the little pumpkin patch we went to. I don't think I've put those on Facebook or anything yet, but anyways, I'm gonna go, and I just wanted to let you guys know that everything was perfect. She's great. And I don't even want to say I'm going to keep up on my videos because I never do. But anyways, I think that's it, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye!